Alright, hi, my name's George, and today I'm going to be showing you a little Figma tutorial on how to make a light and dark switch using micro animations or micro interactions within Figma. And this is basically what we'll be making. And when you click it, it switches from night to day, which I think is a pretty cool little animation. It's a little play on the more simple on and off switch, so it's a bit of a more advanced tutorial. So this is what it looks like set up already in Figma, and we're basically going to be recreating this using a component which we're going to then input into the frames, and the frames will animate as well. So to get started with it, we're going to start a new file over here in the process. I've just created another page, and we're basically going to just recreate exactly what I've already done with the last one. So what we want to do first is we want to create the light element. So we're going to go back to our stage here, and first we're going to create a little box. This is going to be the outline of the switch. And let's say we're going to go like, let's make it a bit more even, 136 by 70. It's just the dimensions I've had before. So what we're going to do, what color do we have it? So the light switch is going to be like it's got like this little sky thing going on. So we're going to choose a nice blue color where we go on here. Just like a light blue sky color. Okay, there we go. So this one is light blue. Now we're not in a frame at the moment because once we make it a component, it's going to be removed from the frame anyway. So we're going to put it into a frame after it's a component. So here we have our basic rectangle, and we're going to give it some nice rounded corners. We're just going to round it until it's all the way rounded. Okay, so we have a little rectangle here, and even from this point we can already make it a component. Yeah, just press Control Alt K, press this button here, and now we have our component. And we're going to call it, let's call it night day switch. Okay, so we'll make the variants as well. Actually, we'll save the variants until afterwards because we want to set up all of our elements within the switch before we duplicate it, because when you're animating if you're using the smart animate feature on Figma, you want to have all of the same elements with the same names in there anyway. It's not going to be completely perfect, but we'll save creating the variants till afterwards. So delete that. We should undo it. There we are. Okay, so we have our outline for our switch. So this is our sky. Now we need to create a sun, and we've got a little cloud in here as well. So we'll make our sun and our cloud. So let's get a circle. Hold Alt and hold Shift, it'll create you a perfect circle. There we are. But we're going to change the dimensions of this circle anyway. So basically, if we want to have it looking more neat, we want to have the same distance from the top and the bottom and the left-hand side, just to have it to fit more perfectly. And if you want to see these dimensions, I'm holding the Alt key, and it shows me how far away it is from the object that it's within. The height is 70, so the height of this outer box is 70 pixels. So we want our circle to be 20 pixels less than that, which would make it 50. Okay. Now if we put this in the middle, we hold Alt, 10 pixels from the top, 10 pixels from the bottom, and we want to go 2 pixels to the left. Now we're 10 pixels everywhere. Make this one 54. So this one is 8 pixels from either side. So yeah, I think that would look a bit better anyway, because it is a little bit far away from everything still. So we'll make it a bit bigger, 54. Again, drag it into the middle. So now 8 from the top, 8 from the left, 8 from the bottom. So there we go. So we'll just start naming a few layers as well. So this is say the outline, switch outline. This, call it the toggle. because this is what's going to toggle from left to right. And we'll give it a color that resembles the sun in some way. Yeah, nice bright yellow color, maybe a bit more orange. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we've got our sun. Now we need to build a cloud. And the cloud is made of a couple of boxes with rounded edges and just two circles. It's one box here, one circle here, one circle here. Not super complicated. So let's create a cloud. We're going to get the rectangle and we'll just drag out something like this. Okay. Color that white. We'll give it rounded edges again. Okay. And then we will create a circle. Put in, again, hold shift to be more circular. So we'll put one circle here and Control D, duplicate that circle, make them a bit smaller. Maybe another circle there. And again, we're going to make those both white. So, there we are. All right, that's a cute little cloud. Let's group these elements together. So click, hold shift, select all of them, and Control G. We'll group these now into a cloud. Okay. So far we have the background, we have a sun, we have a cloud. What else do we need? We also need some stars for the dark mode, and this moon is actually created. I'll show you on the finished result again. The moon actually comes by another circle getting bigger, and it cuts out a section of the circle. So it's the same. The sun and the moon are the same circle, but there's another smaller circle which cuts out this section and makes it look like the moon. So we need to have that part in there as well, but it doesn't need to be visible on our sun, on our light mode. So we will just create another little another circle here. Doesn't really. We'll start it like this. Just put it there somewhere in the middle. And for now, we'll make it the same color as the background, so it doesn't show. We'll put it behind our cloud. We'll call this moon cutout. Okay. So it's not going to be useful in this one, but when we go to the night switch, we're going to need it. So we'll leave it there for now. It doesn't even need to be visible. Okay, so what have we got? We've got our daytime switch. So now I think it's time we can start creating a variant from this. So click on the component. We'll go to variants and click the plus symbol here. And now we have another daytime switch, which we need to make nighttime. So the property of the variant we'll call night. This one we'll rename to day. Okay, so now we have our night and day switch. So what do we need to do in this switch to make it look more like nighttime? Well, we need to change the color because the nighttime sky is not a light blue. But again, I've already got a nice color for this picked out. It's like a nice purple color. So I'm just going to copy this purple color, but you can choose whatever you want. Where are we? So we're going to fill. We're going to change this outline color to purple. Yep, great. And we're going to change the color of this sun, the toggle. We're going to change it to white, so that's the moon. And we're going to move the position to the other side. So I'm going to hold shift to keep it on the horizontal axis, and I'm going to drag it over to the right hand side until we're the same distance away as we were on this side, which was 8 pixels. So I can see if I hold Alt again, I can see how far we are away. We're on the top, good on the bottom, but we're 1 pixel off on the right. So I'm just going to press left, and now we're 8 pixels around again. Okay, so the sun has changed into the moon. Our cloud needs to leave the screen. So if you see, if we look here again, the cloud shoots off into the left. Okay, so we're going to just drag the cloud from the middle to the left off the screen. Now we don't want it to leave the component, so I'm just going to grab this frame, make it a little bigger. Sorry, we'll drag these guys as well, just move them more into the center. So we're going to grab our cloud and just make sure he's off the switch. When he's off the switch, we don't still want to see the cloud outside of the switch. We have to make sure that we're clipping the content. Yeah. So anything outside of the switch frame is going to be clipped. So we don't want it to appear in our final product. So we're going to clip the content. We'll just clip the content for this as well, because anything outside the switch we don't need. So cloud's going to shoot off to the left. The sun is going to move to the right and change color. We forgot our cutout as well. So let's grab, so we see here we have this cutout, a light blue color circle in the middle of the screen, which you can't see, and it's on our night switch as well. So let's toggle the visibility back on. So now he's a little blue circle here. We want to basically shape him so that he looks like a cutout of the moon. So we're going to grab the color and choose the same as the background. And then we're just going to grab him, and we want to keep him in the center. So we're going to hold Shift and Alt again. We're just going to just cut out a section of this moon here. And then Shift and drag him in. Something like this, doesn't have to be perfect. Or you can mess around with it as much as you want. So now that circle is going to grow, change color, and fill up this moon here. So pretty far along, and let's make a couple of frames so we can see what this is looking like. So let's make a frame. Got the frame tool here, or you can just press F. I'm just going to drag a frame out, something like this. Okay. And we're going to take our switch. We're going to go to Assets here. We're going to grab our night and day switch and drag it into the frame. And if I hold Alt and press V, we'll center it vertically, and Alt and H will center it horizontally within the frame. So as you can see, this is our light mode frame. So the background for this one is just like a light color, white, or whatever your background for light mode is going to be. And then if we duplicate this, this is going to be our dark mode frame. So we need to give it a different background color to start with. It's dull mode, dark mode. So we're going to give it a background color, something different. Let's say like a midnight black, blue, something like this, whatever you want. And we need to change the instance. We need to change the property of our switch from its daytime property to nighttime property. Okay, so it's the same switch, but it's in a different state at the moment. So we've got our daytime switch and nighttime switch, and we're going to set this up as a prototype so we can see it working. So we click on the prototype up here, and we're going to grab a connection. So this connection is going to come from the switch, but it's going to lead to the frame. You can't directly link to anything within the frame. It can only lead to the next frame. So the switch is going to be pressed. It's going to change to our dark mode frame. And we're going to say on click, we're navigating to the dark mode frame. And the animation, we're going to change to Smart Animate. And we're going to say, you can play around with these to see which one works nicely, but we're going to try ease in and out back. Okay, 300 milliseconds. Let's try it out and see what it looks like. So I'm going to click on play on the flow. Now when we click on a little sun, changes into the night mode. And there's a nice little bounce animation. Let me show you the difference without the with the different animation mode. So if we click back here, we'll click on our little line. If we didn't have this ease in and out back, say we just had linear, and we relook at the thing. So with linear, if I click on it, it just moves slowly, and it doesn't have this nice bounce animation. It doesn't look very good at all. So you need to mess with your animations to make it look nice. So we're going to change this back to ease in and out back. Okay, and then we also need to have it so that when you click on the night mode button, it switches to the light mode frame. So we're going to grab this little point here and drag it back to the light mode frame. All the settings are going to be the same. Ease in and out back, navigate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now it should go both ways when we click on it. So we click here now, it takes us back to daytime. Nighttime, daytime. Very nice. So the button is, essentially working now. It's all about, finishing touches and details, and you can put as much detail into this as you want. For example, if I come onto here on my sun, if I show you on the original one, it's got like a little outer glow. You can't see it super well here. Let's go back to our page. Finish result. See, I've got like a little outer glow on the sun, which just gives it an effect. You don't necessarily need that, it's up to you. And obviously we've got our stars here as well. So let's just add these details in as well. So if I click on our sun again, go back to our design tab, we can add an effect. Okay, let's play with the settings on our drop shadow. Oh, it is, okay. So we're going to move it up a little bit. So we don't need much difference on the y-axis. The blur, you can set to whatever you want. The color is going to be, importantly, not black, but some glowy yellow color. You can use the same color. The spread, okay, going crazy here. Just mess with these settings until you get something that you like. I'm going to change the Y to 0. Okay, so now I've got a little glow on our sun. And we need to add some stars. Okay, I've made a mistake here. So because I've made the change on the instance rather than on the original component, it's not going to be reflected if I were to use this button again. If I was to reuse this button, these changes are not going to be reflected. So what I can do, I can update the main component with the changes that I've made here so that it's sent to the master component as well. So let's go main component. We're going to push overrides to the main component. And now, if you just saw, now the glow that we added over here is also available here in our main component. But generally, we want to make our changes here and not in the frame. So let's add some stars as well. So we're going to go into our nighttime switch, make sure we're in the component, and we're going to create, the stars are essentially just small circles, and some of them fade out in color. So I'm probably going to speed up this part of the process, but I'm basically going to put a few different small sized circles and make it look roughly like a sky. So we'll go here again. I'm going to grab our ellipse and drag a little circle here, 2 by 2. We're going to make it white. Okay, and now we're going to group, even though it's only one item, we're going to group it. I'm going to call this group stars. And I'm going to open it up. We could take, we could rename the star if you want, star 1. We're going to take our little star and we're going to duplicate him and just start moving him around. Duplicate again, it goes off over there. Grab a few of these. And we want also, see when I duplicated this star, because it went off the frame, it left the group. So we have to make sure we keep our stars inside of our group. We're going to duplicate this one again now, and we're going to change the dimensions from 2 pixels to 1 pixel. These are going to be our smaller stars. Okay. So now we have our stars here, and we want the stars to kind of come up from the bottom. So we need to, first of all, we need to make sure that this group of stars is available in both components, in both parts of the component, both variants, sorry. So we're going to duplicate this group of stars. We can copy it, sorry. We'll copy it. We're going to our day switch and we're going to paste the stars there. Okay. So now we can see our stars here on our day switch, but we don't want them there. We want them to come in from the bottom. So we're going to make some more room in our component. Just going to drag this down here, and we're going to grab this and drag him down there. And then we're going to grab our stars and pull them off down the bottom here. Because we set the clip content on here, now that they're dragged off the bottom, you can't see them on the frame anymore. Okay, so let's just see how this looks, just to check our progress. So we'll click, go back here, we go to our, it automatically updates, so we go back to our prototype, and we're going to switch back. There we go. So it's a bit small, but when you click on it, the stars jump up from the bottom. You see? There we go. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Like, you can get more or less involved. You can get as involved with this as you want. You know, there's different details that you can add to this, and it just depends what kind of style of button that you're going for. But this is the general process, you know, and it makes pretty neat animation to switch from light and dark mode. You know, you might change the rate at which the stars move in, how far away they are, how big they are. You can do anything, add borders. It's just a simple process to show you how the animation works. So that's all I have to show you for this tutorial. I will be making more design tutorials in the future, probably mostly related around Figma. So if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments, if there's anything that you would change, or if I've made any mistakes here that quite obviously you could point out. Yeah, let me know, and I'll work on improving them in the future. So that's all I have to say for now, and I'll talk to you again soon.